ask them, where did you get this? Where did you get it? People call my church, ask, where did we get this? We be glad to share. But the problem is, you want my stuff, but if I ask you for something, you're closed in about it, as though to say that you're the only somebody God blessing. Am I talking good?
You're talking good.
And I think it's bad how women treat each other. We can't compliment each other. We can't say if a girl is pretty. We can't say she's beautiful. Girl, you sharp. It's almost like, wait till I get there. That's a spirit of competition. That's demonic. That's what took down the devil from God. He tried to compete with something that he didn't have the grace to do. You can't curse what God has blessed. So even if she didn't give you the information, God is always going to open a door for you because your heart was good. It was in the right place. But I think it's tragic how women don't support each other. We were talking about women peeping on our pages. Girl, we see you. We know you out there looking at our stuff. So why can't you just like it?
Yes.
Why can't you say she's doing good?
Yes.
Because God is blessing more than you. But when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you know who you are, when you know your God, when you know that God, this is not for you. That t-shirt company wasn't just for her. Share it for who else want to get the t-shirt. You ain't the first somebody that started up with a t-shirt. You're not the first somebody to open a store. Share with the girl. I never will forget, and I don't want to just overwhelm the show, but when I first started my boutique years ago, I used to shop at a certain boutique, and I went to this girl. I said, listen, I know I've been shopping with you for years, and I've spent thousands with you, but it's time now because you know I love fashion. I said, I'm going to open on the other side of town. Get me started. Show me where to go. She said, well, now listen, I ain't going to do that because I got mine. You're going to have to get yours. Those were her words after I've spent thousands. Let me tell you what happened. God told me what to do. He says, first of all, go get legal. Go get your business license. He says, I remember, oh God, I'm trying not to preach. Genesis chapter 12, he said to Abram, he says, go on out there. He says, wherever the sole of your foot shall tread on, that's what he told Joshua. But he said to Abram, he says, you leave your country and your kindred. And he says, I'm going to show you. So when I put that faith with that word, I went into the Paramart. I told the lady at the front, I said, ma'am, I don't know anything about this industry. I said, but I'm here to learn today. Here are my license. She got me in. She says, go to a certain floor. And I start walking the floor. I met two Caucasian gentlemen who didn't know me from Adam. Your sister across town, who I've spent thousands with, wouldn't even give me how to go get a business license. These two guys took me around the floor, showed me how to buy, showed me how to negotiate. That's how I got my start, because the sister wouldn't help a sister. So I said, Lord, if you ever give me the knowledge, whatever you've given me, I'll be sure to pass it on. So I just think it's tragic how we do each other. And I'm committed to help break this curse, because that's exactly what it is. Every Ruth need a Naomi. Every Naomi need a Ruth. Every Elizabeth need a Mary. Every Mary need an Elizabeth. We need each other.
Amen.
So when we understand that, we're going to break this vicious cycle of jealousy, competition, all of those things. We don't care what you drive. We don't care what you... Some of the sisters may not be able to afford that. Does that make you better?
No.
It does not.
No.
It does not. So, and those are the type of things that I try to share with women.
Well, thank you for sharing. I told you, sharing is caring, not just for the children, but for the adults most of all. And that is why I wanted you on the show. If you all do not hear that she is powerful, powerful lady. And yes, you are right. The Thursday that happened, yesterday I had a woman tell me where her shirts are, how to get them, how to get my own made, and everything. It like the next day. So won't he do it? Hello. And I was like, well, won't you do it, Jesus? Thank you.
Yes.
And she was not. She was like, she said, oh yeah, you like it? Let me give you that. Matter of fact, let me write it down. You know, and I was laughing because I was like, one monkey don't stop no show.
And it don't slow it down.
No, it doesn't. And that was that was my trial sermon. One monkey don't stop no show. Because you have to sometimes remind others who are trying to stop. So what do you say to people, to women who feel like they aren't good enough to do anything?
I've been there too. That's something you have to take time and sit down in.
Okay.
The reason a lot of times we don't feel adequate or good enough because we're comparing.
Okay.
You're looking at what someone else have and you're making an assumption. You're hating or you're making an assumption of the fun you think they're having.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes everything that's glitter is not really gold.
Amen.
Sometimes you're in a better position than what you think you are. And again, there's that piece that I talk about so much, especially in my women's empowerment sessions. And I mostly do a session every Sunday morning at my church, empowering women, teaching you to be comfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
My journey is not your journey. Your journey is not my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be okay with that. I have some great friends who have mega churches.
Mm-hmm.
My church is not a mega church. I have a great church, as we said earlier. Incredible ministry, incredible people. But my church is not a great church. I preach in mega ministries. But I am not intimidated by any of it. Because I know that the grace that they have to do what they do is their grace.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is mine. And I'm not going to let you dumb me down. I'm not going to let you make me feel less up
Mm-hmm.
because I'm good with whatever God is doing.
Amen.
So you got to stop competing. You got to stop comparing. And when you stop doing those things, hey, Elizabeth said, went to prepare the way for Mary to have Jesus. She realized that wasn't her son was not going to be the Messiah.
Amen.
Okay, but John was a forerunner for her Jesus. So it didn't matter with them. They were there to enhance each other. And so if you can learn to you got to sit down in your own struggles, sometimes your inadequacies, sometimes your insecurities, sometimes it's not the other person. You feel in some kind of a way, whatever the some kind of way is, that they think they're better and all these things. It's not that.